Welcome back to Survival Records. This is Ryan, and last time on the show we created this vehicle right here, the S10 pickup. It seems to be flying fairly well. It's obviously hovering right now. I had to make a few modifications to the situation in the back here because one of those connectors I want to use as the way to control what's in our inventory. We can eject things at will. The other one, I'm going to maybe design a docking system so that we can connect to the base and pull things into the inventory if we need to. Anyway, let's set up the conveyor sorter so that we can start working away at that iron boulder, get rid of all the stone, and get all the iron and get it into the base. And I'll show you what I've got to do that. So we go to the control panel. We are, I had to rename the connectors. Which one's which? Probably, well, I'll hop out and name them later, but the conveyor sorter for the pickup. We want to, right now, have it on whitelist mode so that it only lets it through it the things that we select. And here we're going to select stone. So it's on whitelist, so it only lets stone go through. And we're going to do drain all, so it'll try and take all the stone out of the system it can. Alright. Now I'm going to head over to the lower area here. Pop out. And this connector here, which is connector 2, I'm going to name connector ejection. And I want to be able to control throw out, on or off, so that it can tell it to throw things out or not. And I can do that with a button on the hotbar. The other connector we're going to just rename to pickup upper rear. There's a zombie attacking me. Yeah, where is it? There. Bad zombie. What do you got? Some power cells. I'm gonna leave them in my inventory. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. Okay, let's quick little hop up here. We gotta be careful.
Fuel critical.
There we go. Oh, and that's right, because I am piped up to a H2O2 generator that's running. My hydrogen gets refilled. Wonderful. Alright, so here we are going to set up the hotbar again. Had to grind that one down, but that one is rear. I want that one just to be on switch lock. And then over here we can have the ejection, and that is throw out, on or off. Right now it's off. So let's see what happens if we drill a little bit into this rock face. And turn on the drills. And we've collected quite a bit of stuff there. Checking our inventories. It's got a lot of stone and a little bit of iron. And, that stone, it's not going to do us any good. We're not, we don't want it. But it's getting funneled into the connector ejection. So if we zoom out a little bit to see what happens, press 5, it's now disposing of that stone for us. And they will roll down the hill and no longer be a problem. Now let's get so we can fill the drills up as well. So having the cargo space indicator be redlined like that doesn't mean I have to stop drilling immediately. But as you can hear and see, we are throwing out a lot of rocks and they are tumbling all the way down the hill. That's great. We keep chewing away at this guy. That's all of them for right now. Let's do this. Oh. See that little tiny rock that's floating there right above the upper drill, right above the cockpit? That could be a problem later on, so I'm going to try and get it. Got it, I think. Let's get rid of this dangly bit here. Alright, so we are now, say, full up on the ore that we want, and we come back up to the base. So do we want to go in and out of the tunnel every time we want to deposit our goodies? I say nay, we do not. So I'm going to clear out a little bit more space, and that looks good. Give it a chance to clear the rest of the stone out. That looks like it's in the right spot. And I'm going to spin around here. And back up just a little bit more. And from here, I'm going to go into the inventory, go to the sorter, and switch it from whitelist to blacklist. So now, the only thing it won't let through is stone, and it'll start ejecting everything else that we have. So it's dropping off all of the ice, first and foremost. And as you saw last episode, this stuff is getting dropped into that connector down there, the conveyor collector. Unless it gets caught on me first. Uh-oh. Ow, ow.
Fuel critical.
Uh-oh. I think I have a problem. Alright, well, I mean, we got a good close-up view of watching it work. I think I can just do this. Get through. And get through. And all the iron we've collected is in here. Let's clear out the inventory of that stuff quick. And I want one of these. And we need to replace that piece. So that is spot number 5, large grid. We want it aligned to the local grid. And I want to see if it's there, slope in the right direction. Oh, and that, technically that is not connected to this grid, so I'm just going to do one there. Now that's all part of the same grid. Gonna grab a little bit of hydrogen before I get going. Some health, because I don't want to die. I'm gonna drop off all that stuff. And make my way back out to where the pickup is floating. Hovering. Flying. Flying? I guess it's flying. And there, as you can see, the inventory is empty. We've got all kinds of gone, except in the O2 generator. It's not going to suck the ice out of there. But my tanks, although my tanks are full, my generator is still running. And don't believe it when it says 63 days. That's just sort of... It gets wonky when it tries to figure out how much ice it can convert into hydrogen, convert into the hydrogen tanks. But before I go and drive anywhere else and collect any more material, I want to make sure my conveyor sorter is switched back to whitelist. And unfortunately, or actually maybe double check. I can't toggle whitelist on or off here. And I don't know enough about scripting to be able to do it some automatic way without going into the inventory every time. So I'm going to keep working at this boulder, get the drop shaft a little bit better, situated maybe, and then I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready to go and do some exploring. I got to go and collect some other resources. I want to get a little bit of supply of the basics, like the cobalt and the silicon, and pick up some more nickel. And if I remember correctly, there was a magnesium boulder over by one of those places that I investigated the first time when I was looking for a good base spot. So I'll bring you guys back and see you then. Well, I've decided that I need to reorganize my base here a little bit. That pickup did a great job of clearing out the rock above. I've got tons of iron processing in the, 22,000 iron metal, 15,000 there. It was great, but it ran out of juice pretty quickly, and I want to be able to dock it inside. So I've detached the pod. I am going to reattach it over here. Maybe it's a little wasteful, but I'm putting some extra thrusters on here just to make it a little easier for myself to move it over to where it's supposed to go instead of having to jury around how I did it last time. But I'm going to get that connected, and then I'm going to remove most of it. Basically just have just the survival kit sitting here, maybe with a new H2O2 generator attached to it. And then I'll be able to build some more cargo, because I actually filled this cargo up with the iron ore as it was coming in. And I will then have a spot to dock where I can use the recharge from these batteries to recharge those batteries so I can get going again. Let me work on all this and I'll bring you guys back. Farewell, good gyroscope. You made us what we are today. So I am pretty nicely fixed up in here. I got the respawn pod to be as minimal as possible, attached to a new rotor, so it's connected to the base that way. I have a landing pad gear there just to lock it in place. And then over here I added 2 more small cargo containers. That should be enough for right now. A little bit of a snake tube connector, and my ship here can recharge. Let's actually set it to recharge. There we go. Now, one thing I wanted to do with you guys was, if I understand how it's supposed to work right, the respawn ship, it will get removed if you spawn a new one. This ship is considered the majority of the blocks connected to it. So there was only 1, 2, 3, 4 of them there, so I've just added a bunch over here. And if I separate them, that's the respawn pod now. And that isn't. Maybe. Yeah, I'm not getting that notice anymore. But I am going over here. Haha! So, okay, so there we go. Now, this survival kit is safe from being accidentally deleted if I need to spawn in on a new drop pod for some reason. We'll see. But I'm going to let this recharge a little bit, and I'm going to let the nightfall go away. It looks like dawn is coming pretty soon here, so it shouldn't be too bad. And then I'm going to go out and do some exploring, and I want you guys to come with me. Well, in the misty morning fog, we are going to head out and do some exploring. I have pieces queued up to make a assembler. Now, that's not the basic assembler that I have been using, but a proper assembler, one that can make larger pieces of ammo, the ammo for the large grid turrets. And it makes a bunch of other things as well. So I think one of the first places I'm going to stop on my little exploration is down here where, oh, mind the tree, where the silicon boulder is. And I'm going to grab some silicon. And that'll help me get all the computer pieces I need, and it'll give me a good supply of silicon so I can get a, anything else that I need from that. The next thing I'm going to look for is that magnesium boulder, and I'm going to go, so this valley that's coming into sight right here, I'm going to go up that way, see if there are any more boulders in it, and eventually make my way over to basically the other side where that Assert research base is. That's where I remember seeing a boulder when I was skating around last time in the drop pod. So I'll bring you back if something happens, or if I find some magnesium, or something starts shooting at me, or fire rains down from the skies. Let's hope none of the worst things happen. There is a boulder with some blue sparkly bits, and nope. I was gonna say, am I really that lucky? I'm only that far away from the silicon boulder. But yeah. Good to notice where this is. I'm going to mark it down. Nothing really useful down to the end of the valley there. And I don't want to get too far from the base, so I'm going to see if there's anything along this ridgeline up here. I also don't want to get too close to that fighter docking station. That would be bad. Alright, I figured I needed to grab some ice anyway. And I want to see if I can get this thing before it despawns in a minute, 22 seconds. Come on. Getting close enough. We're going to hop out.
Fuel critical.
What do I got? A little bit of money. A little bit of plates. I don't want to press the button. It's down here. A leopard grinder. Woo. I think it's gonna blow up. Do I have any? No, I don't have any hydrogen left. Great. Oh, I gotta figure out how to get back to my ship. Okay, that could have been a lot more painful. Oh, this is stupid of me. I just built a little walkway out to it with those plates I just collected. Heck, I even still have this on my hotbar. I just gotta make up to the thing, there. Okay, now it's in my way. See, this is a good reason to actually have a remote control in your vehicles, even if you don't normally pilot them with a remote control. Oh, ouch. I'm gonna go over here where it's a shallower slope and get above it and then come down. But yeah, if I had a remote control in that, then I could just control it get it down to my height and hop in it without all of this dancing about. Alright, now putting a light onto there is a little tricky. It can be done. Oh, probably because that's in the way. Alright, here we go. Okay. Spamming the F button to get inside of that thing was not fun. Alright, let's just land over here. Alright, well, the exciting bit's over. I'll bring you guys back when I find something interesting. Still looking for magnesium. Well, I made it back up and around, and I went up to where the TFWE beacon is. And I've come down. I found a few good boulders, like a handful more iron boulders, so that'll be really good. I won't run out of iron anytime soon. Or iron locations, that is. I still haven't found any magnesium, and I don't want to go, all the way back that direction. So I'm thinking maybe I'll head further down this direction and see what's up with that scuttler. Why is it just sitting there, or not moving, or just bouncing up and down? Oh, silicon boulder. Haven't been marking down all the silicon and all the nickel. Although that boulder right there, come on, slow down. This guy, he pilots pretty well. I don't ever feel like I'm completely out of control, but I'm not. It's not perfect. There's things that could be improved. I'll start thinking about that. Maybe change up the way I have the batteries. Maybe change up where I have some thrusters. Maybe add bigger thrusters. You end up costing more electricity. So we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to grab this signal, and I'll bring you guys back when I'm closer to the scuttler. Well, I've been watching it here for a little while now, and all it does is go up, spin in a circle, and then come back down. Maybe it drifts backwards a little bit. I really don't know what's going on. Maybe it will crash and I'll be able to salvage it. It runs out of power and then drops down in the valley. I'll have to keep an eye on the signal. If the signal ever just disappears, then maybe it's because it ran out of power. That would be an interesting thing. But I still have not found any magnesium boulders between here and the base. But I did come across this, a supply cache. So, yeah. I'm tempted, certainly. Oh, that's iron. And cobalt. I found so many of them at this point, I'm not even bothering writing them down. I'm so far from the base. Now, the thing with iron, with these supply caches, is they tend to blow up. Pretty confident that they blow up. And they don't generally have any defenses other than that. But, blowing up and killing the person coming to press the button is, it's a pretty good defense. And I think, or I don't know. I'm tempted. Let's park the S10. I am 10 kilometers away, 10 and a half, so boy, if I die and respawn and have to come back, then Well, that'll be quite the trip. So I'm gonna leave myself parked this far out. And that off. And, here, tell you what, I am... Actually, I'm gonna go like this. Can I? I can. Okay, I can move large things through the inventory of the cockpit. But let's pick the cockpit itself. Let's put the ice down here. Let's put this and this. And this, this, and that. See what happens. Of course, the first thing that happens is I get attacked by zombies. Lovely. Maybe I can lure all the zombies in and then blow it up. No, that would be bad, because I don't want it to blow up. Guess it hasn't blown up yet. Access denied. Open. Open. Alright, well, here goes nothing.